Welcome to this journey of discovery and growth. I'm so glad you're here, ready to explore the deeper realms of spirituality and what happens when you're under attack. This journey will shed light on the signs that may be affecting your life right now, whether you're aware of them or not. Today we begin a conversation that might not always be easy, but it's essential to understanding the forces at play within and around you. I'm here to walk with you through this process, helping you to recognize these signs, face them with courage, and most importantly, to reclaim your peace, strength, and purpose. As we dive into this video, I encourage you to subscribe to the Soul Ascendancy channel, comment amen below, and engage with this community as we embark on this journey of spiritual awareness and healing together. As we go through this, have you ever woken up with an overwhelming sense that something isn't quite right? Not just physically or emotionally, but a deep, unsettling feeling in your soul. It's a feeling that lingers, one that makes everything feel heavier, like you're walking through life in a fog, unable to shake the weight of your own thoughts. This might seem like a mere bad day, but it can also signal something deeper. It could be a spiritual attack. When we experience prolonged feelings of discouragement, defeat, and depression, it's not merely a sign of external circumstances. It's as though an unseen force is quietly working against you, trying to steal your joy, your clarity, and your peace. This isn't something that happens only in a moment of weakness, or because of life's struggles. It's something that targets your very spirit. You might notice that, even in the brightest of moments, this shadow persists, dulling everything it touches. The key is to recognize it, because acknowledging this is the first step towards liberation. You are not alone in this, and the strength to overcome lies within you, in your willingness to confront it. Whether through prayer, meditation, or finding strength in community, know that healing begins with the recognition that this battle is real, and it is winnable. Imagine a time in your life when your spiritual journey felt vibrant and full of life, when each prayer, meditation, or spiritual practice ignited a sense of purpose and direction within you. It was as though your faith was a fire that burned brightly in your heart, illuminating your path and providing clarity in moments of doubt. The joy of feeling deeply connected to something greater than yourself brought meaning to even the most mundane aspects of life. You were inspired, motivated, and aware of the divine presence guiding you, reminding you that your life had a higher purpose to fulfill. But what happens when that flame begins to flicker, almost imperceptibly at first, but then more clearly over time? One day you might wake up and realize that the warmth and clarity you once felt have slowly faded, replaced by a coldness or emptiness you can't explain. The spiritual practices that once nourished you now feel distant or unfulfilling, and you might find yourself questioning where your sense of purpose has gone. The things that once felt sacred now seem mundane or even irrelevant. You might feel like you've lost touch with the fire that once burned so brightly inside you, and that can be a deeply disorienting experience. When spiritual desire begins to wane in this way, it's not merely a temporary disconnection or a moment of fatigue. It's often a sign that something deeper is at play, something attempting to weaken the very core of your being. There are external forces, whether they are doubts, distractions, or spiritual attacks, working to sever your connection to your higher purpose. It's as though an invisible force is gently pulling you away from the passion and clarity that once defined your faith. This isn't just about feeling disconnected from your practices or beliefs. It's about feeling a deep sense of emptiness where once there was a profound and intimate connection to your spiritual essence. It's as if the thread that once linked you to a higher calling has been loosened, and you're left struggling to reconnect with that sense of purpose that once felt so strong and clear. In these moments of doubt or spiritual dryness, it's important to acknowledge that these feelings are not necessarily a reflection of your true self or your spiritual strength, but rather signs that something is working to disrupt your connection to the divine. To reignite that spark within you, it's important to start slowly, taking small, intentional steps towards reconnecting with your spiritual essence. Don't feel pressured to force that old bright flame to burst into life all at once. Spiritual revival isn't about rushing or pushing yourself too hard, but rather about honoring your journey and allowing the process of renewal to unfold naturally. Begin by reconnecting with yourself in the simplest of ways, choosing small acts of faith that bring you a sense of peace or inspiration. It might be as simple as reading a passage from a sacred text, or perhaps finding a quote that stirs something deep within your heart. It could be walking through nature, breathing in the fresh air, and letting the stillness of the natural world help quiet your mind, allowing you to reconnect with your deeper self. Or it might mean sitting in quiet reflection, allowing space for your thoughts and emotions to settle. and for clarity to emerge from the stillness. These small, seemingly insignificant acts of devotion can have a profound impact on rekindling the connection to your spiritual life that once felt lost. They may not seem like much in the moment, but these tiny moments of intentionality are the seeds of transformation. As you continue to show up for yourself in these gentle, nourishing ways, the flicker of spiritual desire within you can slowly start to grow again. Remember, it's okay to be patient with yourself in this process. It's not about achieving immediate results or having dramatic breakthroughs, but about faithfully returning to the practices that nourish your soul, no matter how small or simple they may seem. In times when you feel unsure or lost, it's also perfectly acceptable to seek guidance from those who have walked this path before you. Reaching out to mentors, to spiritual leaders who understand the intricacies of the journey you're on, can provide you with valuable insight and support. Their wisdom and encouragement can offer you the reassurance you need to keep moving forward, even when the road seems uncertain. They can help you recognize that regaining your spiritual desire is a part of the larger process of reclaiming your soul, a process that is unique to each individual. Over time, with continued effort and patience, that initial flicker of faith can begin to grow once again, transforming into a blazing light that illuminates your path and fills you with purpose. Just as a small spark can grow into a roaring fire, your efforts to reconnect with your spiritual desires, however small, can lead to a profound and lasting transformation. You may have also experienced a deep weariness that goes beyond ordinary tiredness. It's not just physical exhaustion, but a weariness that seems to seep into your bones, affecting every part of you. Tasks that were once simple may now feel overwhelming, and even getting out of bed can feel like a monumental effort. This isn't just the result of stress, overwork, or lack of sleep. It's the manifestation of a deeper spiritual drain, one that seeks to deplete your energy and vitality. Spiritual attacks often work through our bodies as well as our minds, targeting our physical health to weaken us in all aspects of life. When you feel this kind of fatigue, it's a reminder to care for your body as much as your spirit. Take time to rest, nourish your body with healthy food, and engage in gentle physical activity to restore your strength. At the same time, consider the spiritual practices that can help bring balance back, whether it's meditation, prayer, or connecting with the divine in a way that feels right for you. Your well-being is interconnected, and by restoring balance in one area, you can begin to heal the others. Doubt is something every human being experiences at some point in their life, especially when faced with struggles, hardships, or unanswered questions. It's natural to question, to wonder why things aren't going as we expected, or to search for meaning when we find ourselves in difficult circumstances. But there's a significant difference between normal, temporary moments of uncertainty and when doubt begins to consume your thoughts and emotions. When doubt evolves into a persistent questioning of God's goodness, that's when it can signal something deeper, something that goes beyond just an occasional moment of uncertainty. It can feel like a heavy weight pressing down on your spirit, a constant nagging doubt that causes you to wonder whether God is truly good, whether God cares about your struggles, or even if you've been abandoned altogether. This is not just about occasional questioning or a fleeting moment of spiritual weakness. It's a feeling that quietly and consistently erodes the foundation of your faith. It begins as a small whisper, an unsettling thought that creeps into your mind when you least expect it, causing you to doubt the very nature of God's love and goodness. Over time, if left unchecked, it can grow into a powerful force that clouds your perception, making it hard to see the light of divine love that once guided your path. The pain of feeling abandoned by God can be overwhelming, especially when you're in the midst of trials that feel endless, and the absence of clarity makes it difficult to hold on to hope. When these feelings of doubt arise, it's crucial to anchor yourself to the times when you felt the presence of God most clearly in your life. Reflect on those moments of grace, when you experienced God's love in tangible ways, when His kindness and guidance were so evident that you couldn't deny His presence. Perhaps it was a moment of unexpected peace in the midst of chaos, or a time when you felt a deep sense of comfort during a period of grief. Maybe it was a time when you saw divine intervention in the smallest of miracles, or when you simply knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that God was there with you, walking beside you every step of the way. These memories of God's goodness can act as anchors in times of doubt, reminding you that God's love is unwavering, even when circumstances lead you to question it. It's also important to recognize that doubt does not define you, and it doesn't mean you've lost your faith entirely. Doubt, when processed and faced honestly, can lead to a deeper understanding of your spiritual journey. When you wrestle with these feelings, you're not abandoning your faith, you're giving yourself the opportunity to strengthen it, to seek answers, and to deepen your trust in God's perfect plan, even when you can't see the full picture. Reconnecting with your faith community is one of the most powerful steps you can take when you find yourself drowning in doubt. Sometimes in our moments of questioning, we become isolated, convinced that we are the only ones struggling with uncertainty. However, your faith community can offer the support, encouragement, and perspective you need. They are there to remind you that God's goodness is still very much alive, not just in your life, but in the world around you. Their shared experiences, wisdom, and testimonies of faith can bring comfort in ways you may not expect. When you're surrounded by people who share your beliefs, they can help you to see beyond your doubts and reaffirm the truth that God's love is unchanging. Do not be afraid to open up to those who are part of your spiritual family, for in doing so, you may find a surprising sense of healing and renewal. We often think that vulnerability is a sign of weakness, but in reality, it is through being open with others about our doubts that we allow ourselves to grow stronger. When you share your struggles, you may hear the stories of others who have walked a similar path, people who have faced the same or even greater challenges and have emerged with a deeper, more resilient faith. These stories have the power to inspire and remind you that you are not alone in your journey. Sometimes hearing how others have weathered their own spiritual storms can serve as a beacon of hope, helping you to trust that you too will emerge stronger on the other side of your doubts. Additionally, engaging in acts of kindness and service can also play a significant role in rekindling your belief in the goodness that flows from God. When you step outside of your own struggles and reach out to help others, it not only brings healing to those you serve, but it can also help to heal your own spirit. Through giving, whether it be through time, resources, or love, you begin to witness the power of God's goodness in action. You see how His love flows from one person to another, creating a ripple effect of compassion and grace. This is a powerful reminder that goodness still exists in the world, and it often shows up in the most unexpected places, even in the midst of doubt. Doubt, when faced with honesty and openness, is not something to fear. Instead, it can be a transformative part of your spiritual journey. Embrace it as an opportunity to grow deeper in your faith, to confront your fears, and to allow yourself to be refined. When you approach doubt with courage and transparency, it becomes a catalyst for a faith that is more resilient, more grounded, and more anchored than ever before. Instead of seeing doubt as something that threatens to destroy your belief, allow it to become the very thing that leads you to a stronger, more unwavering connection with your faith and your higher purpose. When the mind becomes overwhelmed with negative and disturbing thoughts, it can feel as though you're lost in an unending maze, unable to find an exit. These thoughts aren't just brief moments of feeling down or discouraged. They are relentless, intrusive, and dark, seeming to come from nowhere. It's as if they appear out of thin air, twisting your perception of reality and leaving you in a state where nothing feels right. Everything appears distorted, and hope seems distant, as if you're standing at the edge of a deep, endless void. This mental chaos isn't just a random occurrence, it's a sign that something is working against you, trying to pull you deeper into a state of fear, anger, or self-doubt. These overwhelming thoughts are often one of the most common manifestations of a spiritual attack. They seek to cloud your mind, robbing you of peace and clarity. Rather than offering you comfort or guidance, they perpetuate feelings of confusion and helplessness. They create a cycle where every new thought leads to another negative thought, and before you know it, you're trapped in an unending loop of despair. The more you try to push them away, the stronger they seem to become, as if they are determined to overtake your mind entirely. The important thing to remember when you're battling these thoughts is that they are not your reality. These intrusive thoughts, though they may feel incredibly real, are not the truth. They are invaders, foreign and unnatural forces attempting to disrupt the peace within you. These thoughts do not define you, and they do not speak to the truth of who you are. When you begin to recognize that these thoughts are not your own, you gain the power to separate yourself from them. They are simply passing intrusions, not your identity or your fate. The first step in breaking free from this mental trap is acknowledging that you have the power to dismiss these thoughts. They are not permanent fixtures in your mind, they are temporary and can be pushed out. One of the most effective ways to begin this process is to ground yourself in the present moment. Practice mindfulness, bring yourself back to the here and now, focusing on your breath, your senses, or the environment around you. When you start to focus on the reality of the present, you diminish the power of these negative thoughts. Another powerful tool is to seek out affirmations or scriptures that affirm your worth, your strength, and your inherent goodness. These positive reminders can act as a counterbalance to the negativity invading your thoughts. By grounding yourself in positive affirmations, you begin to shift your mental energy from darkness to light, replacing fear with strength and doubt with faith. It is also crucial to speak these struggles out loud, whether to a trusted friend, a mentor, or a counselor. When you give voice to the thoughts that have been consuming you, you begin to dismantle their power. Speaking them aloud brings them into the light, revealing them for what they truly are, illusions that hold no real authority over you. In the journey to reclaim peace and clarity, it's important to remember that mental freedom is not achieved overnight. It is a process, one step at a time. Each time you recognize the intruding thoughts for what they are, you take a small but powerful step toward regaining control. With persistence, patience, and support, you can break free from the cycle of negativity and restore peace to your mind and spirit. They don't belong to you. Start by grounding yourself in the present moment. Use mindfulness, prayer, or simple meditation to anchor yourself. Focus on the sensation of your breath, or on the present moment, and let these thoughts pass like clouds in the sky. Speak these struggles out loud, whether to a trusted friend, a mentor, or a professional. Verbalizing these thoughts can diminish their power, making them seem less real. Remember, your mind is a landscape that you can take control of. With each step, each prayer, and each act of faith, you can reclaim your thoughts and let light into the darkest corners of your mind. When the temptation to return to old habits or lifestyles becomes overwhelming, it is a clear indication that you are in the midst of a spiritual battle. You may find yourself longing for the comfort of the past, for the familiar routines and patterns that once seemed to offer solace. This is not simply nostalgia or a momentary weakness, but a deliberate attempt to pull you back into a space where you are disconnected from your higher purpose, less conscious of the changes you've worked so hard to make, and perhaps less challenged in your spiritual journey. These thoughts can become a deceptive force, making it seem as though returning to your old ways might bring peace, but in reality, it would only keep you stuck in a cycle of stagnation. Acknowledging these feelings is important, recognizing them for what they are: tests of your resilience, your faith, and your commitment to the path you've chosen. These thoughts are a temptation to derail your growth, to make you forget the reasons you sought change in the first place. Reflecting on the progress you've made and the transformation you've experienced can serve as a powerful reminder to keep moving forward. The journey you're on is one of growth, and it requires you to leave behind what no longer serves you. If you feel unsure, reach out to those who have supported you in the past: friends, family, or spiritual leaders who understand your journey. Sometimes hearing the story of your own transformation from others can help you see how far you've come and remind you of the power that lies within you to continue forward. There are times when, just as you think you've healed from past wounds, those old emotional scars resurface, bringing with them a flood of painful memories. These feelings may overwhelm you, causing you to question whether you have truly healed or if you've made any progress at all. This isn't a sign of failure, but rather a spiritual attack designed to reopen old wounds and make you doubt your strength and your journey. It's important to approach these resurfaced emotions not as setbacks but as opportunities for deeper healing. The past may come back in the form of triggers or unresolved pain, but instead of avoiding these feelings, face them with compassion and an open heart. Engage in self-reflection or seek professional support to help process these emotions in a healthy and constructive way. Embrace the power of forgiveness, both for others and for yourself, as a crucial tool in your healing process. By acknowledging these wounds and choosing to heal them, you strengthen your spirit, building a resilience that can withstand even the fiercest attacks. Sometimes the most painful journeys lead to the greatest breakthroughs. And as you work through these wounds, you will find that you emerge stronger, wiser, and more grounded in your faith. Guilt, condemnation, and shame, these heavy burdens often weigh down our hearts, distorting our self-image and hindering our growth. When these emotions become overwhelming, they can cloud your perception of yourself and make it difficult to move forward. These feelings are not a reflection of your true worth, and they should not define you. If you find yourself trapped in a cycle of guilt and self-condemnation, it is essential to recognize their source. These feelings often arise from external forces, aiming to keep you in a state of spiritual stagnation and self-doubt. The key to overcoming them is understanding that these emotions do not have the power to define you. Your worth is intrinsic, and it is not dependent on your actions or your past mistakes. Seek understanding and clarity by exploring the roots of these emotions and embrace the transformative power of confession and forgiveness. Surround yourself with a community that offers grace and compassion, one that reminds you of your inherent value and the unconditional love that surrounds you. The process of healing begins with the understanding that you are deserving of love and forgiveness, not because of what you have done or failed to do, but because of who you are. You are worthy of grace, and by embracing this truth, you will begin to release the heavy burdens that have been holding you back. At times, feelings of rejection, loneliness, and a sense of not belonging can become so intense that they seem to overshadow every aspect of life. These feelings of isolation can make it feel as though the quest for connection and community is an impossible challenge. It is during these moments that spiritual attacks often strike, seeking to make you feel cut off from others and from your spiritual anchor. But it's important to recognize these feelings for what they are: external attacks that aim to distort your sense of worth and belonging. The first step in overcoming them is to acknowledge that they do not define who you are. Your worth is not tied to external validation or approval from others. Begin by seeking connection through community, whether through spiritual gatherings, outreach programs, or simply engaging with people who share your values and beliefs. True belonging starts with accepting yourself and recognizing your place within the larger tapestry of life. You are not isolated, and by opening your heart to others, you create a bridge that connects you to the world around you. As you share your journey and embrace the love of others, you will be reminded that you are never truly alone. You are a vital part of a greater whole, and your place in this world is more significant than you may realize. There are also moments when confusion over your beliefs or spiritual path can create a fog that clouds your vision, making it difficult to discern the right direction. This confusion can feel disorienting, as if you're losing your spiritual compass. Such moments of doubt, however, are not necessarily signs of weakness. They can be spiritual attacks designed to undermine your convictions and create uncertainty. During these times, it's important to allow yourself the space to question, to explore, and to seek understanding. This period of confusion is not a sign that you are lost, but rather a necessary part of your journey. Faith that is tested and questioned often grows stronger, more resilient, and more meaningful. When you feel uncertain, turn to trusted mentors, spiritual guides, or sacred texts that can offer clarity and perspective. Allow yourself to explore new perspectives and ideas, knowing that each question and moment of doubt is an opportunity to strengthen your belief system. Faith that is refined through questioning is often deeper and more authentic. It's okay to sit with uncertainty for a time, allowing the answers to unfold naturally. Over time, the fog will lift, and your beliefs will emerge clearer and more solid than before. As we continue on this path of understanding spiritual attacks, it's important to remember that recognizing these signs is only the beginning. Acknowledging what you're going through is a powerful first step, but responding with courage, faith, and resilience is what truly empowers you to face these challenges. If you've identified any of these signs in your life, take heart. You are not alone in this battle. There is strength in knowing that you are equipped with the tools to overcome these trials. Reach out for support, whether through prayer, meditation, or connecting with your spiritual community. Embrace the power within you to heal and grow. You are not defined by the struggles you face, but by your ability to rise above them. With each step you take toward healing, you reclaim your power, your peace, and your connection to the divine. Continue to move forward with the confidence that you are never truly alone. You are surrounded by love, grace, and the unwavering support of those who walk this path with you. Keep going, knowing that you have the strength to face whatever lies ahead. As we reflect on the journey, we've just explored the signs that indicate a spiritual attack, the ways in which we can recognize and respond to them. It becomes clear that the struggle we face is not only external, but deeply internal. Spiritual attacks, though often subtle, work to weaken our connection to the divine, to others, and to ourselves. They are not something we can simply brush off or ignore. They are forces that aim to undermine our inner strength and disrupt the balance of our spiritual lives. But the power to overcome these attacks lies within each of us. Recognizing the signs is the first step in reclaiming our peace, our purpose, and ultimately our spiritual resilience. This journey, though challenging, is one that leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship with the divine. When we face discouragement, when we feel that familiar shadow of defeat pressing in, we must remember that these are not just bad days, but signs of a battle taking place within us. It is not uncommon for the spirit to feel drained, for faith to waver, for doubts to cloud our minds, or for negative thoughts to overrun our hearts. These are not just random occurrences, they are indicators that something is working against our peace. They are invitations to look deeper, to reconnect with what sustains us, and to rise above the struggle. The moment we recognize that these feelings are not our final reality, but rather challenges to be overcome, we begin to shift our perspective. The battle is not only about what we face externally, but also about how we respond internally. The power to reclaim our peace begins when we acknowledge that we have the strength to face these challenges, not with fear, but with courage and resilience. It's about taking back our power from the forces that seek to diminish us, and standing firm in the truth that we are capable of overcoming whatever is thrown our way. Perhaps you've felt the flicker of your spiritual flame dimming, that once bright fire that guided you through life's challenges now seeming faint and distant. The passion you once had for your faith may have seemed to fade, leaving behind a hollow space where once there was purpose. This is not a sign of failure, but of a deeper call to rekindle the flame. Just as a candle needs to be gently reignited when it begins to flicker, so too does our spirit need gentle care when it feels distant from its source. We are never truly lost, but we may sometimes need to take smaller, quieter steps to reconnect with the divine presence that sustains us. These steps might not always seem grand, but they are vital. Reading words that inspire, walking in nature, sitting in silent reflection, these are the small, consistent acts of faith that have the power to reignite the spark within us. And even in those times when doubt rises within us, when we question the goodness of God or the truth of our faith, we must remember that doubt is not the end. It is a passage, a moment of questioning that can lead to a deeper understanding of the divine presence in our lives. Doubt is not a failure of faith, but an opportunity for growth. It is in those moments of uncertainty that we can find the courage to reaffirm our beliefs, to remember the times when God's presence was most evident in our lives. It is through these moments of vulnerability that we open ourselves to a deeper and more resilient faith, one that is not just based on certainty, but on trust, on experience, and on the continual journey of discovery. In times of mental chaos, when negative thoughts invade our minds, it is crucial to recognize them for what they are, not truths, but intrusions. These thoughts are not the essence of who we are, they are the result of a deeper, spiritual struggle. When we find ourselves trapped in a maze of negativity, the first step is to realize that we have the power to free ourselves. We do not have to be held captive by these thoughts. Through mindfulness, through prayer, through grounding ourselves in positive affirmations, we can break free from the cycle of fear and doubt. Every step we take to replace these dark thoughts with light is a victory in the battle for our peace. And with each victory, we reclaim more of our spiritual energy, more of our connection to our higher selves. The process of overcoming these attacks is not always quick, nor is it always easy, but it is a process that leads us toward healing and spiritual strength. Each small victory, each act of devotion, each moment of trust in the face of doubt, brings us closer to the peace that is always available to us. It is a journey, not of perfection, but of persistence. It is about choosing to stand firm, even when the winds of doubt and fear seem to blow hardest. The power to transform our spiritual lives lies within us. We are not helpless in the face of these challenges. There may be times when the temptation to return to old patterns, to the comfort of the past, feels overwhelming. The thought of going back to the way things were before we experienced the growth, the change, the transformation can seem appealing. But this is a trap. It is a spiritual attack aimed at pulling us back into a place where we are less aware, less connected, and less able to grow. It is crucial in these moments to remember why we chose to change in the first place. The transformation we've experienced is not meaningless. The growth we've undergone has made us stronger, more compassionate, more connected to the divine. We must hold fast to this truth, and with the help of our support network, our faith community, and our inner strength, we can resist the pull to go back. Instead, we can move forward, continuing the journey of spiritual growth, even when the path feels difficult. Emotional wounds that have long since healed may resurface in moments of spiritual attack, bringing with them old pain and memories. But these wounds are not signs of failure. They are opportunities for deeper healing. The wounds that we thought were closed can be reopened, not to break us, but to help us grow even stronger. By confronting these resurfaced emotions with compassion and understanding, we allow ourselves the space to heal more completely. This is a reminder that healing is not a linear process. Sometimes it's a cyclical one, where we return to old wounds not because we are not healed, but because there is more healing to be done. Through forgiveness both of others and ourselves, we can find the peace that comes with true emotional and spiritual freedom. The feelings of guilt, condemnation, and shame that sometimes arise are burdens we carry, but they do not define us. These emotions are not a reflection of who we truly are. They are not a punishment, They are an attack on our self-worth and our ability to move forward. When we recognize the source of these feelings, we begin to dismantle their power. Seeking forgiveness, accepting grace, and surrounding ourselves with a supportive community can help us break free from these heavy burdens. It is through these steps that we begin to understand that we are deserving of love and forgiveness, not because of what we've done, but because of who we are at our core. Feelings of rejection, loneliness, and a lack of belonging can seem overwhelming at times. These feelings may amplify during periods of spiritual attack, making us feel cut off from our communities and from the spiritual connection that sustains us. But these feelings are not truths. They are attacks on our sense of belonging, trying to convince us that we are alone, isolated, and unworthy of connection. When we acknowledge these feelings for what they are, we begin to break their hold on us. Seeking out community, reaching out for connection, and opening our hearts to others can help us overcome these feelings of isolation. We are not alone. We are part of something much larger than ourselves, a spiritual community that transcends space and time. By sharing our journeys with others, we can remind ourselves that we are never truly cut off from love, support, or belonging. The confusion we sometimes feel about our beliefs, especially in times of trial, is not a sign of failure, but of spiritual growth. It is in these moments of confusion that we have the opportunity to explore, question, and discover a deeper truth. When we are uncertain about our beliefs, we are being invited to expand, to grow, and to refine our understanding of the divine. This process is not always comfortable, but it is necessary for the development of a faith that is more resilient, more authentic, and more grounded. By embracing this period of questioning with openness and honesty, we allow our faith to be strengthened and deepened. Ultimately, the journey through a spiritual attack is one of transformation. It is a journey that requires patience, faith, and resilience. We may not always understand why these attacks come, but we can trust that they are part of the process of growth and spiritual development. And as we move through them, we become stronger, more connected, and more aligned with our higher purpose. If you recognize any of the signs we've discussed today, know that you are not alone. This awareness is your first step in reclaiming your spiritual strength and resilience. Seek support from your community, engage in acts of kindness, and remember that every step you take toward healing is a victory. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to comment Amen below and let me know how you're navigating this journey. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Soul Ascendancy channel, where we will continue to explore ways to grow spiritually and reclaim our peace. You are not alone in this journey, and together we will face whatever challenges lie ahead with courage, faith, and the power to overcome.